Hello class, welcome to lesson 8.2, example 2. In this example, we are going to go over how to write an equation that describes each sequence. Then you want to find the indicated term. So if we look at letter A, we have a sequence that's 10, 11, 12, 13, and it continues on. Remember, that's what those three dots mean. And then we want to find our 10th term. Okay, so sometimes you say 10th term, easy, I'll just keep writing it out, not a big deal. But as soon as I start asking for, tell me what is the 75th term, do you really want to sit there and try to write out all 75? Probably not. So let's practice how to write an equation so that way we don't have to worry about writing out really long sequences. So one thing I'm going to tell you is start by figuring out what your common difference is. So I see I am changing by 1 each time. Okay? Now, how do you write an equation for this? I'll show you guys. You start with t equals, you're going to have a number times n plus a number. I'm going to show you how to find those two numbers. The number that goes with your n is your common difference. Okay, so your common difference. In this case, that's just a 1. And we don't really have to write a 1 with a variable, so you can just leave that as an n if you would like. And then in order to find what number belongs here, you take the term minus the common difference. So in this case, 10 minus 1 gives me 9. Okay, you do this with the very first term in the sequence. Okay, and now let's check, does that work? If I'm talking about the first term, I would say t equals, or actually, let's not do the first term. Let's do the third term. So we still see what it is. So I have 1 times n. N gets replaced with 3 because we're talking about the third term, plus 9. That equals 12. So I know my equation works. So let's erase this, and let's find our 10th term like we were asked to. So I have t equals, instead of n, I'm going to write 10 plus 9. So t equals 19. So my 10th term is 19. Okay. Let's take a look at your next example. We have, oops, that did not shrink down well. I'm going to I'm going to erase it. Okay, so 10th term was 19. Let's try that same process with our second one. First, you find your common difference. I'm going up by 6 each time. 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay, so I know I'm going to have t equals 6n because the 6 is my common difference. So I do my common difference times n plus, remember, you subtract that first one. So we have 6 minus 6. So that is 0. So I would put a 0 there. But do we typically write plus 0 on the end of equations? No. So I'm going to erase that, and I know my equation is just t equals 6n. Now, let's test it out. Let's make sure it works. Let's try the third term again. So we have t equals 6. Instead of writing n, I'm going to replace it with a 3. So I have 6 times 3, that's 18. So I know my equation works. And now let's use it to find the 11th term. So I have t equals 6 times 11, or my answer is 66. Let's move on to letter C. We have a common difference. We have 4, 7, 10, 13. So I see I am going up by 3 each time. So I'm going to have t equals 3n. From there, remember, you subtract the first term. So I have 4 minus 3. So I'm going to say plus 1. Let's test it out. Let's check if I plug in the third term. I'm just a big fan of the third term today. Don't know what to say. So if we do t equals 3 times 3 plus 1, is that true? 3 times 3 gives me 9 plus 1. That's 10, which is my third term, so I know that checks out. Let's use this equation now in order to find our 23rd term. So we have t equals 3 times 23 plus 1. 3 times 23 gives me 69 plus 1 equals 70. So my 23rd term is 70. And my last one, let's try to figure out. We have 2 to 6. I'm adding 4, 6 to 10. I'm adding 4, 10 to 14. I'm adding 4. So again, I'm going to say I have t equals my common difference 4, n. Now, I have 2 minus 4. So that, remember, plus, what's 2 minus 4? Negative 2. Do we have to do plus a negative 2? No, we can just write minus 2. That's the same thing. Okay? So instead of ending with a positive number, our common difference was bigger than our first term. So we know we're going to be subtracting 2 in this situation. Now let's test it. Do our third term again. We have 4 times 3 minus 2. So that's 12 minus 2. That's 10. So I know my third term, that works. So if I do 4 times 14 minus 2, 4 times 14 gives me 56 minus 2. So I know my 14th term is 54. Okay, hopefully this helps you with the second example in Lesson 8 too. Have a good day.